Africa. Even though they shake the mountains, even though the seas may rise, even though they may give all the weapons and ammunition to the zoological republic, no matter what they do, no matter how they foment their rage, it doesn't matter to us. For God, Chukokika Biama, is in the land of Biafra. We shall never ever be moved. This God of the ancients will help us now and forevermore. For Biafra shall come, and this Lord of hosts is with us. Chukokika Biama, the same God of Jacob, this same God of Shadrach and Meshach and Abednego, this God that never abandons his people, this same God is our refuge. And we proclaim it unashamedly that this God that we kneel and bow before, we shall worship thee, for Biafra is your promise. Your word is yea and amen. Instead of your word not to come to pass, heaven and earth will cease to exist. Upon this very hope we anchor all our belief that Biafra shall come in our time, and we pray that it comes this very year, that your glory may be made manifest in the lives of men, that we may kneel and bow before thee.
No. Emekes, no. Echo scan. Mama Betty?
Privilege to, to enjoy and have.
Where are you from? I'm from Old Enugu State. That's low. Otherwise, our discussion this night will be the park program that was organized yesterday. So we are going to integrate that and get our base from there and expatiate on that. And then our sit at home, which is on the 6th, 7th, and 8th of November 2025. Do not go out and vote. If not, this new appointment, service of chiefs that they've given to them, they will use you and do pepper soup in Biafra land, and we will not help you. So do not go out and vote. We are many in this space, and each of us will have families. Pass this message to your family members. Nobody should be found outside on this date, 6, 7, and 8 of November 2025. Stay at home and be alive so that you can enjoy Biafra. We will talk on that later. So those are the areas we will focus on. So let's quickly look at what we have to understand these few hours. So we are going to look at the historic part, which will give us the why. The why. When you use the word the why as a student, the why makes you to dig deeper and allow you to understand the context and diversify. If you just look at the low order thinking question, is just like, what is your name? You say, my name is this. Where are you from? I'm from Old Enugu State. That's low order thinking question. But once you apply the high order thinking skills, the why, the how, it will take you deeper to understand the past, the present, and the future, and why this thing is happening. So we want to know the historic why. Why? How a 220-year-old jihadist has created this foundation for today's genocide. There is a reason for today's genocide. Yes, we will not just be shouting on the surface, genocide. How? Why? Maybe later, if time permits, we will join the how. That is if we have time. But we've been talking on the how for some days. I just removed it. But if time permits, we can go back to the how. And then we will now join the CPAC summit that was held yesterday, the impact of it, and why the Nigeria is panicking and cannot suppress this particular news or event that happened yesterday. We will talk on that. And then we will have a connection, how Christian persecution validates Biafra freedom determination, and then still emphasize again on the sit at home. Yes, which every Biafra must sit at home. So we have those four sections that we have to talk about this evening. So, but before I continue, I will give the mic to my co-host to greet the house before we start the program officially. Mama Betty, are you there? Mama Betty? I think she's not close to her phone. Mama, okay, she's not close to her phone. 1 million, you just joined now. Should I send you a co-host so that you hold this space? The internet is not
Send
friendly.
it, send it, send it. If
Okay,
Mama
thank
Betty is too up here, who am I to say no? Send the co-host. Let me hold it. Thank you. Good
you.
afternoon
Okay,
from here.
I've sent it. Thank you so much because internet is not friendly at all. So at least if it kicks me out, it will not kick you out. Or if it kicks Mama Betty, you'll be there or I'll be there. It's not easy, but we have to.
I hope you haven't sent it to someone else because I cannot
No,
receive any notification
no, no,
now.
no, no, no. It's only you and Mama Betty.
I have not seen it if you have sent it.
Let me cancel and send again.
They should give me this co-host. I need it. Thank you.
Okay, I've sent it again. I've sent it
They,
again.
they have really started. I understand. I can't see it. So do I have to
Okay.
go out and come in, or you refresh and
No,
send it
I
again
think
that I will
okay.
get
Let
it?
me refresh. Let me refresh.
Yes. Okay.
Hold the
Okay.
talk to
Yeah.
Biafra. Let me refresh and join
Yeah.
again.
I'm just going to say hi. I'm going to say hi to my boss. I can see my boss, Master Totti. There's a reason why I call him my boss. Those people that want to go and dive into the lagoon, let them go there and stay. There's a reason why I call my brother here, Master King David. And when once a king is always a king, and that is why your likes are not common. So we love you, my brother. And there's a reason why I call our mommy. I call her my mommy, my mommy Betty. It's not just I will not just that mommy is not a guy name. She's a mother, and she's a mother of all. We love her so much, and she deserves even more better than that. She has remained focused, steadfast, consistent in all that she does, articulate in her words and everything. So these are the qualities that under the Biafran government in exile, have. God has given us the privilege to enjoy and have this kind of wonderful great men and women in our midst. And I will not forget also, even though she's not here, our own Madam Nuki is a very great woman. Everybody are blessed in different ideas and different ways. So I also acknowledge her. Even the host herself. Some people will call her tutors, but me, I call her professor. But because the way and the manner of the way people have been using that word professor, so that is why we prefer tutor. She has been doing a great job, under the Biafran government in exile. And I believe that every members of the cabinet and every brigade members are very, very proud of her, you know, in her consistency, especially on the media. It is very, very important because this is the time we really need this kind of awareness. So I really appreciate you, Ma.
Again.
Thank you very much for your good job. Without wasting much of our time, I will also
Yeah.
say hi to each and every one of us that are also on the listening section as well. Those that will
1
be
million
joining us
check.
soon.
Sorry, 1 million
Ah,
check. Did you get it? Check now.
I didn't see it, but I'm the co-host. There's no problem.
Yay!
If I see it, I receive it. No problem.
Oh my
So
gosh.
I am sending my greetings to Vicon, number one of Finland. We love you so much. That is a great DJ. I can see Vicon on the listening session as well. We are here. We are strong. We are focused. Let me just make it very short because shortly I'll be going down from this vehicle where I am now, so that I'll be able to get to a very private and a very good location, so I'll be able to give a good submissions. So though I will not skip the topic we have here, I'm going to rephrase so that we all will remain focused on what we are going to talk about today. The most important thing is here is the 6, 7, and 8 sit at home is very, very important. And I believe we all understand what that means. So why has Nigerian, become a killing field for Christians? So this is something that is very, very important, and we need to, talk about it. So without wasting much of our time, I would like to welcome those of us that have, joined us already in the mic. So I would like them to also make their opening submissions before we kickstart. Thank you very much, Auntie Tutos. I really appreciate, for bringing us up, together again. So I will use the mic here now. Thank you.
Ndewo. Yeah, so should we start? Can you hear me? He considered impure is what is happening today. We must understand that what we are witnessing is not just a random violence. It's not a farmers' haters clash. No, it has nothing to do with all that. It is not about cattle or rat or land grabbing or climate change. What is happening to Christians today in Nigeria is the continuation of a 220-year-old jihadist project that began in 1804. And truly, it has not ended. Because we have to know why this is happening. Yes, very important. So to understand why Nigeria has become a killing field for Christians, we must travel back to February 21. Yeah, I will need some help, where I cannot fill it up. That is why we are all here. I don't know it all, so I will need input immediately. I drop the mic so that those of us that have also researched in this area can contribute, and let me also learn. Hey yo, that is why BRGIE space is so phenomenal and outstanding from every other space that we see out there. So we must travel back, and I'm starting my journey from February 21, 1804. And why am I going there? That was when a Fulani Islamic scholar named Usman Dan Fodio declared jihad against the Hausa kingdom, and they began a holy war that would reshape West Africa forever. That was his plan. Yes, our PM had educated us sometime last year, but as humans, maybe by that time it did not really make a lot of sense. Maybe by that time, most of us here, we were still one Nigerianist, and we were like saying, what is PM talking about? And human beings, once you hear something the first time, you say, okay, that is his own, that is her own, until event will unfold, and then you say, oh, truly, this is what this man was trying to teach us about. This is what this woman was trying to tell us that time. Now you connect the dots, it begins to make sense. Because right now, I've come to realize that it is information that people really need. Because a lot of us have been in that contraption called Nigeria. They have eradicated history from our curriculum, and they put the children, even adults, in the dark. I guarantee you, if you ask adult Nigerians, say, who is Usman Dan Fodio? They will not know. They don't know, because to them it's not important. Most people in Nigeria don't even know what is happening. That is why you see, go to some churches, they will still tell you, pray for Nigeria, pray for peace in Nigeria, pray for peace in Nigeria. There can never be peace. There can never be peace. Because what Usman Dan Fodio started has not been accomplished. There can never be peace. There is no prophecy that will stop this one. The only solution is disintegration of Nigeria, that each of the nations will now protect their borders and rule themselves and govern themselves. For somebody to tell you, keep on doing prayer and fasting, and woe betide Adeboye that came out today and said that he wants to pray for youth, to unmarried youth. What are you going to hold special prayers for? Unmarried youth, to do what? But since this genocide started, he has not made any comment. The only thing is to come and pray, hold special prayer session for unmarried youth. People that have not seen money to eat. Now you force them to go and pray. Pray for what? To see wife and marry, or husband and marry. Instead of you to make sure that they fight for their freedom. Instead of you to make sure that you come out and support this awareness about the genocide going on in Nigeria, you want to hold special prayer session for the youth. In fact, you are not my problem now. Let me just leave you. So it can never stop. So I will start again from 1804. The foundation, that is the foundation of immediately. So, and that is the foundation of today's genocide, what we are experiencing today. Why you see the world leaders are now talking, raising alarm, raising war cry. Christians are being, it's not only in Nigeria, Sudan, Congo, everywhere. It's like they just released their terror. But the thing there is that they have stayed the ship, they have stayed that pool, and jihadis are coming out and said, we must continue. We must make sure we achieve our goal of Islamizing everyone in the world. So Usman Dan Fodio, I had to say, who is this man? He was born in 1754 in Gobe. That is that Gobe that we now call Northwest Nigeria today. And he was a Fulani man. You see, a Fulani man. He was a Fulani Islamic scholar. And a teacher. What was he doing? He had been preaching throughout the Hausa kingdom that was created then, and he was deeply troubled by what he considered impure Islamic practice. So he thought that what they were practicing that time under Islam was not pure enough, was not decent enough. So he now had to change the template and make life to be very difficult, introducing this, introducing that. So he wasn't comfortable with the pure Islamic practice then. The mixing of traditional African religion with Islam, he did not like it. He saw other Muslims as corrupt rulers, and he viewed it as a un-Islamic governance. He wasn't comfortable with it. There was no holiness and righteousness in what he saw there, and he decided to create his own caliphate. He decided to run a different agenda to suit his purpose. You see? And that is the more reason when they started by killing the Hausas. Because to them, Hausas were infidel before they even talk of us that are Christians. You understand? So this Danfodio, this Usman Danfodio, by that time, attracted so many followers. You know, a teacher can talk. So he attracted so many followers. If you want your children's mind now to flip, just involve a teacher. A teacher knows how to coin words, appetizing words to children. You see, so that was what Usman Danfodio used that time, and he had a lot of followers, he had a lot of students, and they united with his own vision of pure Islamic rule, because he had how would I put it, what do you call this, radicalized them. You see, so when the Sultan of Gobe, where this man was born, and his name was Yunfa, you see, and he was Usman Danfodio former student by that time. When he started, he began restricting his activities and eventually threatening massacre of his followers. So Usman Danfodio that time now declared a migration to Gudu in 1804, February 1804. And he now mirrored that with a Prophet Muhammad's own migration from Mecca. So what happened is that his student was the one that now threatened him. So that was how the what is his name, Usman Danfodio, now migrated to Gudu. But on February 21, 1804, this man, Usman Danfodio, was declared commander. You see the promotion now? Commander of the faithful. That was the title that was given to him by his followers. Remember, I told you he had a lot of followers. And the jihad officially began when he himself became the commander of the faithful. It's just like community now. You go, the first man that will carry Bible. Everybody will believe in that man. Whether he's lying or he's telling the truth, everybody will believe in that man. And before you know what is happening, he will become the only man that can see, the only man that is brilliant and intelligent in the whole community. So everybody will follow. So that was what happened with Usman Danfodio. So he became the commander of the faithful by his own followers. His followers made him to become the commander. And the jihad officially began that time when he took over that position. So this was not just a war, it was a comprehensive religious and a political revolution that designed to establish this strict Islamic governance across the entire region then. So his students did this for him. So that from that 1804 to 1808, Usman Danfodio, Fulani warriors, they conquered the Hausa kingdom one by one. And that is why today in Nigeria, you will hardly see 5 in the midst of 50 that are Hausas. They've killed all of them. And let's listen to where they started the conquering from. In 1805, his followers captured his warriors, because you know now he has a soldier surrounding him. They captured Kebi. In 1807, they took over Castina. The ruler of that Castina committed suicide following that defeat. When they took over Castina, the ruler of Castina committed suicide because he felt that he was defeated. He couldn't protect his people. And then the Sultan of Kano then, whose king was forced to flee and was later killed. You see? So they took over Castina and the Sultanate of Kano, So the king was now forced to flee, but he was later killed. And then in October 1808, assaulted and conquered the Fulani, who were the warriors to this Usman Dan Fodio, assaulted and conquered Gobe, where Usman Dan Fodio was born. And they killed Sultan Yonfa at the Battle of Al-Kalawa. I'll try and pronounce the word well, because we want to understand where this thing is coming from. Now, in 1809, his own son, Usman Dan Fodio's son, Mohammed Bello, he founded the city of Sokoto, which became the capital. So you see what is happening. Anybody telling you that there will be peace in Nigeria, pray for Nigeria, it is a waste of time. Instead, pray, let God touch the heart of Biafrans to bring money, because nothing can happen in Nigeria anymore. Nigeria is an Islamic state, whether you like it or not. In 1809, the Sokoto Caliphate was formally established. I go ask question, because I need to know that we are learning together. The Sokoto Caliphate started in 1809. Yes, that was when they established this caliphate. And it is a vast Islamic empire, and it spanned most of what is now the northern Nigeria. Yes. So, and it has also spread, my people. They also form part of what we call Cameroon today, part of what we call Niger today, part of what we call Burkina Faso today. That is how it spread. That is how it was. That area was all captured. You see, it was his son that did all this later. And then by 1837, under Usman Dan Fodio's successors, what did we have? The caliphate had grown, listen to the number, to 20 million people. And that made them to become the most populous empire in the 19th century. Imagine. So the West Africa, and one of the largest states in Africa since the 16th century. You see what is happening? Now, they left a legacy that have never died. That legacy is what is killing Nigerians today. That legacy is what is killing Biafrans today. Now, here is a point that we have to critically understand, because when the British colonized Nigeria between 1900 and 1903, and the military that defeated the Sokoto Caliphate in 1903, they dismantled it. They didn't dismantle this caliphate. They did not dismantle this Usman Dan Fodio empire. They did not dismantle it. Instead, what they did, and this is the more reason our PM was telling us that day, that they sold, according to the document our PM read that day, the British handed over Nigeria to Fulani. Yes. And look at the reason. Instead, British High Commissioner Lord Lugard instituted indirect rule. And that indirect rule was to preserve the Islamic structure of governance. That is what Britain did because of fear. And that is what they call Sokoto Emirs, to avoid what? Conflict. Lord Lugard handed over everything to them. But guess what? They were very fast to dismantle Biafra sovereignty. They were very fast in that one. Because we were doing holiness and righteousness, we were doing gentle hate. But people that were aggressive, Britain said, no, take. They refused to destroy everything. They preserved their Islamic structure for them. So, this means the Sokoto Caliphate never truly ended. It did not end. So the Sultan of Sokoto, and this is the more reason you could see Sultan of Sokoto, the current one, telling you that if you fight against Boko Haram, you are fighting against the Almighty God. Talking authoritatively. You see? Authoritatively. And that was the more reason that Mike Arnold said that he has taken the challenge and he threw out that he needs evidence from anybody inside or outside the country to prove that there is genocide in Nigeria. And Arnold said, yes, there is genocide. Come out and prove that you are not the one behind sponsoring terrorism. And since that time, he has not spoken a word. You see? So the Sultan of Sokoto still exists as we are talking, one after the other. The Emirate system Danfodio created in 1804 still governs the northern Nigeria as we speak. And that is why 12 states in northern part of Nigeria are still practicing what we call Sharia. Because now that Sharia now is the holy and sanitized Islam for them, according to their master, Usman Danfodio, because he never accepted the traditional mixed way of their worship. He decided to form his own called jihad. Yeah. So now, what is happening there? The descendants of those who conquered the Hausa kingdom then through jihad 220 years ago, they still hold positions of power and authority as we
Hello,
speak.
tutors.
Hey, can you hear me?
Sorry to disturb you. Is there any sound behind your background?
No.
Somebody's mic may be open. There's a second
No
sound
sound though.
coming out from there. Sorry.
I've not even on my AC safe. No sound. Not in my room is very quiet. Nobody's mic is on.
The only
Anybody?
mic that I see that is open here is still Mommy Betty. It is your mic, but I don't know if, but I don't think anybody's mic is open from my own side. But I think when Mommy Betty mute, her mic is still open. So but there's no problem. But I don't know that the sound, but it's okay. I don't know, but nobody's mic is open. Is anyone speaking now? I can't hear anybody anymore.
But I think there is no time to play. You know, when he was lamenting that Tinubu should come and they should come and tell us what is happening, because he's afraid that their empire is being shaken by coup. The man is panicking. If there is time, I will go
Sorry,
back
tutors, you can go ahead.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. So that jihadist ideology never disappeared. It did not disappear. And, you know, this Usman Danfodio jihad provided the inspiration for a series of related jihad in other parts of the Savannah and Sahel that has led to the foundation of Islamic State in Senegal, even Mali, Ivory Coast and Chad, you know, Central African Republic and
We're not
Sudan. Look at
hearing you.
Can you not hear me?
We are hearing you. We are hearing you. Mommy
Mama,
Betty, this
you go down
with this your account now that you are using for co-host, I think it's been attacked. It's been attacked. So that is the reason why you can't hear the host. So if you can refresh and come back, if that will be possible, because you are the only co-host we have
Hello,
here.
tutors.
She's not even hearing me as well. They are attacking now, so that is why I could not receive the
Let me bring her down. Let me bring her down.
Okay, we are sorry for the interjection. Yeah.
Mama, can you hear me now? I've dropped the other one that you were on speaker. Can you hear me, Mama?
You dropped the one. I don't know. The one that she's using to respond is still the co-host. This one that is here. So the one you dropped would have been the one maybe she is listening from. So, but this very one that she's using on the co-host is being attacked.
Okay, then let me drop that one. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Okay, I'll send.
Mommy Betty, you was being attacked by the other account. So it's better you are on here with this account so that you can be hearing the conversation.
Okay.
Okay, should I continue? Can you hear
Yeah.
me now? Okay, thank you. So now, let's look at now the slavery and the conquest ideology, because there is another dark aspect that we have to discuss. Now, the Sokoto Caliphate is just a summary, okay? So when you pick your mic, you can also contribute. So the Sokoto Caliphate was built on slavery. Yes, it was built on slavery according to historian by 1900. The Sokoto Caliphate had, they said, listen to the number that they had, at least 1 million. 1 million. And they said they have 2.5 million slaves. When I saw this number, I said, guess the population and the ethnic group that will be these slaves for the Caliphate of Sokoto. Biafrans, non-jihadists, will make up these 2.5 million slaves that a Sokoto Caliphate had. Biafrans. No other ethnic group will become these slaves. But the time has come that we will never be slaves to them anymore. And they classified them, they categorized them as the second largest slave society in the world after the United States. Imagine, who made up these 2.5 million of slaves? It is Biafrans. So the jihad created a new slavery frontier on the basis of rejuvenating Islam. And the Usman Dan Fodio appeal to Fulani warriors included the desire for conquest and enslavement of their polytheists. That was the desire of Usman Dan Fodio. So this is important because you see, it has established a pattern here. If you are really following what I'm saying, it has established a pattern here that non-Muslims, that is those who are not a jihadist, were not just enemies, they were legitimate targets for conquest. They were legitimate targets for this conquest. And this ideology foundation has never been fully repudiated as I speak to you right now. So the British now came in 1914. The British came in fully in 1914 for amalgamation. That is the forceful marriage that they brought us into. And it was the administrator of that amalgamation was still this Lord Lugard. And he amalgamated the northern and southern part of Nigeria into a single colony, which is called Contraption Nigeria today. So this was a purely administrative convenience for Britain, and it had no basis in the desire or even the culture or even the religion or identities of the people that this man, this Lord Lugard forcefully, joined together. You see, he did not care. He just said, yalla, all of you come, bam. He put us together. And if you look at what this amalgamation did, this amalgamation merged the Islamic North with Christians, struck their traditional South together. The Sokoto Caliphate Islamic terrorists, where this Usman Dan Fodio had established a Muslim this Sokoto Caliphate, which were all Islamic people, they joined us with them. Christians, they joined us with them. Those of us in the middle belt and those of us in the southern part, which was the eastern region then, they now merged us together. That was what Lord Lugard did. And while the southern Nigeria had the direct British rule, they had a missionary school, we had Western education, and they created a Christian education life for us. The northern part of Nigeria were busy Islamic school and they were practicing Sharia law. And that is why you see today they are running mad. When you go there, that was we discussed a few days ago, the two legal systems that they are practicing, the Sharia law and the secular law. So if you go there and misbehave, they cut your hand, they amputate you, they blind you, they kill you, they roast you. How can they now bring two different sets of people together? Those practicing Christianity and those practicing Sharia law with all their Islamic schools. How can they bring us together? And this is the reason that Nigeria will say that they need money. In fact, not even needing money. They have carved out money to send repentant Boko Haram to go to school in the Saudi and every other country that is practicing Sharia. They want to send them out to go and study so that these countries will continue to spread like wildfire. They are not giving up. They are not giving up. That is why when I go to Twitter, anybody saying pray for Nigeria, I'll reply them immediately. Prayer will not work this time around. Nigeria will stop at nothing to Islamize everyone or kill everyone. This is a time for them to come and support the disintegration of Nigeria. That is the solution. Yes, this amalgamation, Nigeria wasn't just a nation. Nigeria had two civilized forces into one colonial administrative unit. And they had it with a religious and cultural divide running through its center. We are never together. We are never together. Two parallel lines, never together. We will never meet. That is what the amalgamation did. The little one I can just put down so that I don't take a lot of time. So now what happened in the post-independence power struggle? What now happened? Because when Nigeria gained independence in 1960, the power struggle began immediately. And that is what we are still seeing till today. The North, with its largest population and a preserved power structure, dominated federal politics, which is what is still happening today. Anywhere you go, you see Northerners occupying all these political positions. And then we'll become boy to them. And then you look at the Igbo-dominated area, which is the Biafra side, which are predominantly Christians and with Western education. Now, even the Yoruba Southwest, we found ourselves in this federation where we see only Northern Islamic interests control the military and the federal government. That is what is happening till date as I'm speaking. And so this led directly to the 1967 and 1970 Biafran War, in which Biafrans were killed mercilessly. And during that war, we have been saying it over and over again, more than 100,000 people were killed. And more than 2 million people that were killed were mostly Christians. Babies that were starved to death, mothers, fathers, brothers, uncles, aunties, they were starved to death. And most of us here, we lost our parents, we lost our brothers and sisters, we lost our relatives to this blockade that happened during the Biafra War. So this was the first most major post-independence genocide of Christians by the Nigerian Islamic dominated government. So why now? Why now? What is that condition now that reignited this jihad? Why now? Several factors have converged in the 21st century to reignite this jihadist project, and they will never give up. In 2009, before 2009, when it was like everywhere was silent, we said, okay, one Nigeria, all of us, we were there, we were one Nigeria at that time, we believe what was going on, all of a sudden, because they have not achieved the purpose and the aim of Usman Danfodio, they imaged what we call Boko Haram insurgency. They sprang up. Remember, if you have been listening to me, that Usman Danfodio hated the traditional worship with Islam jihad that he formed. Remember, he formed jihad. He was even accusing fellow Muslims with him that no, that what they are practicing is not sanitized enough, it is not pure enough, that he wants to form what is called jihad. Now, what is the meaning of Boko Haram? And remember that Usman Danfodio hated education, Western education. Anything that had to do with Western lifestyle, he hated it. So that 2009, Boko Haram came up from nowhere. And what was the name? Boko. Western education is forbidden. The same Usman Danfodio agenda that had been playing out. So they were nursing it, they were breeding them, slowly, and they emerged in Maiduguri, Borno. And guess who was grooming them? Shetima, who is now the vice president of the terrorist country called Nigeria, who planned coup so that they will overthrow Tinubu. and take over. And if Shettima take over, who is taking over? The template of Afghanistan will play back. Bam. That's it. That is what would have happened. And he never even started. The finance minister of Tinubu fainted. I just read the news headline. Oh. This is the man that we heard 2 weeks ago that he suffered from stroke. And they flew him to UK. Then the news media came out and said, no, he did not suffer from stroke. Or he's still in Nigeria. He didn't go to anywhere. Today, news has confirmed that they spotted him in UK. Another paragraph said that when he saw his name on the list of names to kill, he fainted. I don't know the one that we will believe. I don't know the one that we will believe, oh my people. You can never hear truth from the Nigerian terrorist government. Today they will lie, tomorrow they will use another lie to cover the old lie, and then they will keep on lying and lying and lying. Okay, so let's go back. So what even brought me to Shettima is this Boko Haram that he founded when he was the governor of Borno State. Yes, you see, and it was led by Mohammed Yusuf, which they used to call Abubakar Sheuka, which they claim every time that they have killed. The next thing he will emerge again. Tomorrow they will say they have killed. Next tomorrow, after 1 week, we'll see him surface again and say, see me here, I did not die, I am still alive. So this what do they call them now? This Boko Haram now established a caliphate governed by strict Sharia law, which they are still practicing today, and it's exactly like that of Usman Danfodio Sokoto Caliphate. So they see themselves as continuing the Usman Danfodio unfinished work, and there's nothing anybody can do to stop it. So that is why they are killing, and they will continue to kill. They will not stop, because they are killing and continuing to finish the work of their master, Usman Danfodio. And then, since that 2009, Boko Haram, how many people have they killed? 27,000 plus civilians. They have killed more than ISIS killed in Syria and Iraq combined together. Now, you know their target as usual. They are Christians. And that is why Nigeria has become a killing field for Christians, because they can never stop until they achieve what their father, Usman Danfodio, told them to do. So they are continuing from where the man stopped. They target churches, they target Christian schools, because these represent the Western Christian contamination, according to Usman Danfodio in 18 plus. So they are continuing that. And then before we say Jack Robinson, in 2016, we saw another a faction that split from Boko Haram, and they pledged allegiance to ISIS, forming Islamic State of West Africa province. And this brought international jihadist funding and training and ideology into Nigeria. We all know who ISIS are, the members of ISIS. You see, so ISIS itself has explicitly called for Muslims to migrate to Africa. The news headline is there. They call them to migrate to African countries as part of a campaign to Islamize the continent. That is their target, and they will stop at nothing. They will stop at nothing. And they were even boasting of killing 190 Christians and burning churches here and there in June and July 2020 as part of their harvest of African Christians. We saw it. And then before we know what was happening, Fulani sprang up. All these people have the same agenda. We saw Fulani headsmen that also sprang up. The same ethnic group that conquered northern Nigeria in 1804. Hold on, Stanley. In 1904, they have undergone their own militarization. So while, we still have just a fraction of them. We've been seeing in video, but I don't know how truthful it is that they are Christian. I don't believe it, because, in Nigeria, everything is possible just for them to create a point. Hold on, Onyeka. Yeah, I've sent it to Onyeka. So, these Fulani that we see, they are not just looking for land to graze. They are not moving out because of climate change, which they are claiming. No, they are not. They are consciously connected to the border of Islamic agenda. And the ultimate aim of the radical Sunni Fulani Caliphate is to Islamize Nigeria. Nothing more, nothing less. And then, from 2015 to 2023, we saw the government's complicity in what has been happening. under the Fulani president. And who am I talking about? I am talking about the date Buhari, Mohammed Buhari. Buhari was a Fulani Muslim. Yes, and retired Major General as well. You know, there's this man called Ume Balasi. I think he's the bishop that documented that Buhari's tenure saw increased Fulani jihadists access to state armories. And the integration of repentant jihadists started in Buhari regime into the Nigerian security forces through what he gave a name, the radicalization program. It was Buhari. Why? Because they still want to continue from the template of Usman Dan Fodio. That is what happened. And then we can see the current president today, Bola Tinubu. He's also a Muslim. And we know that Tinubu is not a Nigerian. He's from Guinea. Foreigners are ruling Nigeria. And that is why it has become a killing field for Christians. We have seen Tinubu is also a Muslim. And Christians accuse his government of continuing the pattern of allowing Fulani militias to operate with impunity. That is what Tinubu is doing. And we can also see, according to investigators, we've seen wealthy Fulani who are profiting from this cattle industry that have been supplying their fellow tribesmen with numerous AK-47. It is there. Because these people have international jihadist funding. They are supplying them with weapons, they are supplying them with money. When you hear Tinubu tell you, I am traveling to this France, I'm traveling to this one, I'm traveling to that one, I'm traveling to Qatar, he is going to borrow money. He is going to buy weapons to come and do what? Kill you because of the agenda of Usman Dan Fodio. That is where the problem started from, and it is still there till date. Nothing can change it. That is why Nigeria has become a killing field for Christians, and nothing can change it. Yes, nothing. Because you see, these attackers derive significant benefit from international jihadist support fund. That's what they are doing. So when they give them this fund, Fulani don't have life. They can't even live in a cement house. No matter the money you give to them, you will always see them live under a small thatch hut. If wind comes, it will blow them off and they will start again. They don't even need this money. They don't look healthy. They don't look clean because, remember, go back to what I said, their master hated anything sanity. Anything sanity was hated by the Usman Dan Fodio. So they are copying exactly the footsteps of their master, and nothing can change. So all these factors created what Bishop Wilfred described when he went for congressional hearing as a long-term Islamic agenda to homogenize the population. That is it. Implemented over, I'm quoting the bishop directly, he said, this is a long-term Islamic agenda to homogenize the population. Implemented over several presidencies. Did you hear that? That is what Bishop said. Presidencies through what? A strategy to reduce one and eventually eliminate the Christian identity of half of the population. So if you trace the history of president that has ruled Nigeria, they have been nursing this agenda of Usman Dan Fodio, and that is why you see the northern part of Nigeria always fighting for presidency to come to their side so that they can achieve this aim of Usman Dan Fodio, because they don't want the dream of their master to just go off like that and disappear from the surface of the earth. This is the more reason why you see our governors, they migrate. Before they take a step, they have to go and meet Sultan of Sokoto, because Sultan of Sokoto is the representative of the Usman Dan Fodio template or agenda, whether you like it or not. That is why nobody, when I say nobody in Nigeria can argue with him, because they see him as their personal Lord and Savior. He is carrying the staff of Usman Dan Fodio that have been passed from one Sultan of Sokoto to the other, to the other, to the other, until it has reached his own. If he is ready to die now, he will pass it to another person and say, make sure you achieve the purpose, the aim, and the objective of our master Usman Danfodio. So if you are listening to me and you are a Biafran, and somebody is bringing illegal election to Biafra land, and you feel that you can get up on the 6th, on the 7th, and on the 8th of November, shower very well, and carry your whatever card they use, voting card or whatever they print and give to you, and you go out there to vote, hey, you will not go back home alive. You will not go back home alive because you think that you can add to our sorrows. You will not go back home alive because Biafra land now has been declared and ruled by our de facto government. If you have listened to what I said, we are not compatible with the Usman Danfodio template. We are a different species entirely. So you better sit at home on the 6th, 7th, and 8th. I will yield my mic here to my co-host before I now talk about the CPAC summit. So let our people, give their own contribution to this. Why Nigeria has become a killing field for Christians, and it will never stop. So if there is anything any international community wants to do for us, let them do it immediately. If there is anything you Biafrans have to do to make sure we leave Nigeria fully, do it. Prayers will not work again. The only prayer now we need is a J and a Gemma. The only prayer now that we need is for you to listen and abide by the rule of the Biafra Republic government and the de facto in the homeland. That is the only prayer that we want. Stop paying tithe. Bring your tithe to Biafra account. Come and put it there. No amount of laying of hands will redeem you from Nigeria because you have been marked for destruction. If you like, do dry fasting the whole year. You have been marked for destruction. Bring your money to the Biafra government. Let us finish this deal once and for all. If the followers of Usman Danfodio can still hold on to the objective, the ideology of their master, why would you as a Biafran give up on the way? I will yield my mic here. My co-host, you have the mic before we continue.
Thank you so much. Thank you, my wonderful and powerful sister. All your researches, we appreciate. In fact, it's people like you that we need in this, our media team, and thank God you are here with us. Biafrans, I greet all of you. My special greetings to my leader, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. We pray for him every day that God will heal him, as Nigeria government that does not appreciate human life. They don't love anything good, refuse to take him to hospital for treatment. We pray that Chukwu Okike Abiyama, who has the power to do everything, including creating human beings, that he will use his holy hands to heal our leader. I pray for him to be released because Nigeria government has no case against him. That's why his lawyers put a case of no case to answer. That one is a different thing altogether. I pray to God also for the release of our PM, especially for the new revelation of how Bruce Fein and Kanonta, all of them, including Onyendu's wife, ex-wife, went to submit letter to the European Commission. So they should now see that all those things, they were all false, and release our PM. I give my special thanks to my current leader, Mazi Ogenkere, our APM. I thank him so much for being there for us. It's not easy, but we will continue to pray to God to guide him. He's going out and he's coming in. My fellow Biafrans, you see, when the media team are saying anything, it boils down to one thing: the reason why we should be donating our funds to liberate ourselves. You have seen everything that our sister Tutor said. That has been the agenda of the Fulanis from 1803, when they said, I wasn't there then, it was recorded and we have to use it to know what the agenda of that man was. They were not Hausas, they are not Igbos, they are not Oduduwans. They just came and they are manipulating everyone, killing those that they are killing, and they will never stop. They can never stop until that agenda is achieved. So what do we have to do in return or in place of this fight? Is to donate, both those who are in homeland and those who are abroad. We need to donate. I don't know, I'm seeing someone here with APM. Is it our APM tutors? Hello, tutors.
No, it's not. It's his guy name. It's social media, the profile name. Our
Okay.
APM join in with a BRGIE now.
Okay. I foresee if it is APM, I will yield my mic for him. So, Biafrans, when the media teams are telling you something or speaking about something, you will all realize that anything we say or anything we reflect on constantly, there is a reason for that. Are we willing to continue serving Nigeria as slaves or living abroad without having a home to go to? Everything she has said has a very powerful meaning, and it reflects to us negatively if we do not do something. Tomorrow now is our fundraising, mega fundraising on Saturdays. Why don't we make it a point of duty to come in and donate? On Saturday now, we will have very few number of people that will be there. No matter what we say or what we do, we have to fund our freedom and liberation. Fulanis are not giving up. That is their nature. They don't live in a beautiful homes like we do, as our sister reflected on. They live in the bush. So they don't feel whatever you feel. All they know is to buy human beings, healthy human beings. If you see what they did yesterday, oh my God, I saw it, and in fact, it's like where flies are perching on something. Human beings. I don't know the name of this place in Katsina. And they are coming down. Let us not think that now the BDF are there to protect you, that we have to relax. No. And Christmas is coming, when our people always do the mass return. So we need to donate to provide more granite. You know, you all know what I mean. Please, my people, this donation is very, very important. We need it. We need it. That's the beginning and the end, the middle, the left, the right, and center of what we are telling you. Donation. We need it now. And by the special grace of God, when Biafra comes, you will not regretting donating for the liberation and freedom of our people. We will all enjoy it together and be grateful to God that finally we have achieved our goal. And Fulanis will go their separate way, and we will be within ourselves. They know our what. That must be one of the reasons why they are fighting alongside to Islamize and Fulanize us. Okay, if they are Fulanizing us, where are we going to stay? Because they have to take your land over and rename it. That is Fulani for you. Fulani bụ mbịambịa ka onye nwe ụlọ. They will come to your home and tell you how to live in your own home. Are we going to tolerate that? So the only way we have to push Fulanis out of our backs right now is to donate. That's all. Because we have a lot at hand. We have a lot. Money is needed. So I will yield my mic. I welcome all of you. And Mazi Onyeka, you can take it up from here according to Rich. I didn't see him. Thank you.
I think we're aware, right? It has the press briefing tonight. I just saw the flyer. Thank you so much, tutors. Am I coming out?
Can I go ahead, please?
I think,
Go ahead.
Am I coming
Go
out?
ahead.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Am I coming out?
it is David. It is David
Am I
that
coming
will
out?
speak. Onyeka, wait. David will speak before you.
Okay, okay.
King David, go ahead.
Okay.
Thank you, Mama, for your submission. Thank you so much, Mama. Thank you.
Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to speak. And I use this opportunity to appreciate you, tutors, the tutorial mistress. Thank you so much for that wonderful history. You know, the reason why Nigerian government banned history in schools is for
Sorry,
such history.
King David, are you using earpod? Your voice is not clear.
Okay, can you hear me now, please?
But it's still sounding like that. I don't know if you are using earpod. Or is it
Okay,
from me?
okay. No, it's not from you. Let me just. Okay. Okay. I believe you can hear me now, right?
Yeah, it's better now.
Yeah, okay. And thank you so much, Sister Tutos, our professor, like Nonso said. Professor with a difference, so not the professors that Nigeria used to rig election. No. The original professor herself and our tutorial mistress. Thank you so much for that wonderful, educative submission in your opening speech and your well-detailed, expose on how the genesis of the conquest that started in 1904, 18th centuries or thereafter. Because a lot of people don't know this. And that is why the Nigerian government systematically removed history from the schools, from being taught, so that people will continue to live in ignorance. People will not know their history. And you know, if you don't know your history, it means that you are a lost generation. So I really want to appreciate you, my sister, and for bringing us together once again to explore and teach our people, remind them of what they may have known but have forgotten on the genesis or how this genocide that has ravaged that part of the world, when it started, how it started, and why it must stop. I appreciate you, tutors, and I use this opportunity as well to appreciate all the women in the house. More importantly, the women and men of the BRGIE media. You guys are doing exceptional. You guys are wonderful. I really doff my cap for every one of you. I also want to use this opportunity to appreciate our boss, the information minister, Mazi Sonny Akparawa. Sonny Akparawa, our information minister, assembled the best of the best
in media. So I appreciate the media platform, the media, my comrades. I appreciate every one of you. I want to use this opportunity. In fact, there is a news that I was just reading before I pick up the mic. And maybe most of us have not seen it. If you go to our lobbyist X handle, you will see there is an information he dropped some minutes ago. And oh my goodness me, it gladdens my heart that in the history of Biafran Restoration Project, we have not been able to get to this stage. Starting from 1967 till date, all effort made geared towards our freedom, towards our restoration, have always been thwarted. Even those who were sent to go and contribute and see how Biafran people can be, the atrocities against the Biafran people, we get to the nooks and crannies of those who are in charge of world politics. A lot of people have thwarted that effort. Our eternal leader, Odumegwu Ojukwu, fought Biafra with personal fund from the parents, from the family. Even those who he even brought together and said, come and help me so that we can be able to free our people, they betrayed him. They betrayed him and as well ate the money that was given to them for the sake of Biafra. Wazirike also came on board and tried his best as well. Wazirike also was as well betrayed. Betrayed by people who say they are Biafrans, who say they want Biafra, yet they stand against Biafra restoration. But in this case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, in this era of our leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, our Prime Minister, our acting Prime Minister Ogechukwu Nkere, the issue of Biafra have gotten to the highest place that we can think of. And today, Nigerian government is feeling the impact that this generation of Biafrans are creating in Washington, D.C. So I want to use this opportunity, more importantly, to appreciate the good works, the commitment, the consistency of our APM, His Excellency Honorable Ogechukwu Nkere, because he has devoted himself. He said he is the messenger. He has devoted himself, his time, to make sure that the issue of Biafra, the reps, the senators, the congressmen in America are vast in the knowledge of what is happening to Biafrans in that part of the world. I appreciate our APM. Thank you so much. Yesterday also, he was at CPAC Summit. We saw him live. And don't think that he went there to Jamboree. He went there because of you. He went there because of me. And you saw him with the bag that contains all that you need to know, both evidences, written, oral evidences against Nigeria. He always carries that bag to Washington, D.C. And whenever he opens the content of the bag before the congressmen and women, you will see results. You will see results from his briefings to all these congressmen and women. So I salute our APM. I also appreciate the good works of our lobbyist, Elias Jarasoris. Elias already told us in the beginning that he is a freedom fighter, our international freedom fighter. In fact, he made us to understand that his family participated in the freedom of his people. So therefore, he is not ordinary a lobbyist, but also a freedom fighter like us, who are fighting for our freedom. And he also knows what it meant, what it felt like to be under subjugation. So Elias has devoted his time, more committed than most of you who are Biafrans, to make sure that he fixes all these meetings, to make sure that Biafra issue is discussed in Washington, D.C. We appreciate Elias so much. The same thing applies to our attorney who knows it, who knows what it tells to represent a nation. He is representing us in the best way that he is representing other nations. We appreciate him as well.
Order.
Hello, David.
We can't hear him. I think he's distracted. I just saw the news headline now, and I opened it to read. Nigeria is really in serious panic. They are fighting.
Sorry, I was being distracted. Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Yeah,
go ahead.
We are hearing you,
Okay.
David.
Okay. So yes, you know, Elias told you, he said, Prime Minister, apart from being your own lobbyist, we are the same freedom fighters like you. We will be your representative in Washington, D.C. While you are fighting in homeland for your liberation, we will be fighting in diplomatic ways to make sure that you people are free, because he knows what it feels to be subjugated. He knows what it feels to be harassed. He knows what it feels to be intimidated. He knows what it feels to be under slavery in a darker continent that do not respect the rule of law. So we appreciate Elias so much. The same thing applies to our own attorney, Dabiri. Dabiri is representing nations. He's a well-versed attorney in world politics and when it comes to freedom. So we appreciate every one of them. And I must appreciate our Prime Minister, because our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpanjoku, knows that instead of every year, widows in Ebonyi State, widowers in Ebonyi State, and every other, group that he is in charge, giving them food, giving them, trying to provide for them with their needs, for their niece and their children. He now knows that it is better for him to fight for their freedom, the freedom of the totality of Biafrans, so that those things that he is providing for all these people, the government can now be in charge. So our Prime Minister stated categorically that he is going to do everything humanly possible to make sure that the Biafran people are free, and to make sure that those who he has been taking care of will have a better life. And that is why he has done everything humanly possible to make sure that the awareness for Biafra was created and ushered us into BRGIE, that is now the talk of the town, that has now been able to take us to this state that we are today. So we appreciate our Prime Minister. And because of that singular act, because of what he has achieved under BRGIE, Nigerian government with European corrupt European or with Nigeria affiliates in European countries now join hands together in order to, detain him for the singular reason that he's fighting for the freedom of his people. We appreciate our Prime Minister so much. Of course, I have to say kudos to Ahmadike one of Biafra land, the lion of Biafra, the lion of Africa, the lion of the world. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, it was that told you and I, go and listen to Simon Ekpan-Joku, because he is bringing a new dimension to this very awareness that we are creating. That new dimension, that awareness is what you are seeing the result today in Washington, D.C. So when you read the news, you will understand that Nigeria are getting the message. They understand that what is happening to them is courtesy of the Biafran Republic government in exile, courtesy of our APM, courtesy of our lobbyists, courtesy of our attorney, courtesy of BRGIE. That Prime Minister told you that since the re-establishment of Biafran Republic government in exile, that no one cannot take Biafrans for granted. So Nigeria will take us granted at their own peril. And they are getting the message as we speak. So I appreciate all these men and women that have done exceptionally well for our freedom. And I appreciate every one of you also that is in this space tonight to hear the gospel of redemption. But I want to appeal to you. I want to solicit for your help. I want to solicit for your support. What do I need from you? I want you to take a time and share this space. Very, very, very important. Because this information is not only for you. It is for those in the homeland. It is for those in the coastal and hinterlands of Biafra. It is for our parents, for our mothers in the villages. It is for even those who could not come online to hear this information. Those who may not have data to come on X, please send it to various platforms in your village meetings, in your village groups, in your family groups, so that our people can get this message. Very, very important. Now, to speak on the topic, why Nigeria has become a killing field for Christians. CPAC, sit at homes 6, 7, and 8. No election in Biafra land. Yes, I'll start with the latter. You see, anybody telling you about election in Biafra land, that person is the enemy of Biafra. That person is the reason why our people are being killed. That person is the reason why you have over thousands, hundreds of checkpoints in our land. That person must be the reason why our people are dying at Okigwe State. Our people are being killed at Olu State. Our people are dying all over Biafra land. That person must be the reason why. Because once you come out to support any Nigeria election in your land, it means you have approved the killing of your people. It means you are supporting the annihilation, the destruction, the disappearances, the kidnapping of our people in our various communities. Because if you don't come out for election, it means that these people were not elected to be your leaders. I want you to understand that. For those of you who may think that, oh, this is your time, to make money out of Nigeria because they are going to give you local government chairman, or because they want to make you a councillor, or because your brother wants to ascend into one political position or the other. I want you to understand that you are already digging your own grave by supporting any Nigerian election in Biafra land. First of all, you have to ask your question. You ask yourself a question. Where have I benefited? Or where have my community or my people benefited from the elections that have happened in that part of Nigeria since, let's start from 1960 up to date? You don't have electricity. You don't have good roads. You don't have hospitals. You don't have industries employing any industry that can employ people. You don't have a seaport. You don't have an international airport. You don't have the presence of international community. Even the oil companies that are milking oil from our land, you can't see their presence in our various communities. But this is what they have been telling you when they say, vote for me. I am going to give you road. I'm going to give you water. I'm going to give you, I'm going to, give you good road network. I'm going to build hospitals for you. Since 1960 to date, this has been the promises of those who have been vying for political positions. And yet, till this moment, they have not been able to give you all those promises. They have not been able to fulfill it. So why do you think that it is now that elections are do or die affair that they are going to be able to provide all those amenities for you? And I want to ask you a question. That question I want to ask you is this. You have been clamoring for Biafra since time immemorial. You knew about Ojukwu's fight for Biafran restoration and declaration. You know what happened. You know how many people died. Even until our Odumegwu Ojukwu died, you also heard about Wazirike, who rekindled that hope. And you always look forward to having Biafra, to being a Biafra, to be in a nation where Biafra is now established, where Biafra will be able to take care of your needs, provide all these amenities that you desire. But yet, all this why you have not gotten the Biafra. But now you have an opportunity. If you have been following the Biafran Restoration Project up to this moment, you will understand that there has been a very big difference in the achievement of Biafran restoration since that time of our Ojukwu till this moment that we are fighting for this Biafra. There has never been a time we have been able to enter Washington, D.C. to have a congressional briefing. There have never been a time you have seen the Prime Minister or anybody that is representing Biafra going to Washington, D.C., sitting with the Speaker of the American House, speaking with senators, speaking with congressmen and women, and even those congressmen and women telling you that yes, what you are doing is the right thing, but only that you have to be stronger. You have to support for your people to be free. There's never been a time like that. But this time around, we are closer to our freedom. And that is the reason why anything of Nigeria election in Biafra land is prohibited. Very, very important. Lest you forgot or you have forgotten, I want to remind you that last year, February, we had, throughout last year, we had our self-referendum vote. That self-referendum vote was, do you want Biafra? In that clause, if you want Biafra, you have to tick yes. If you don't want Biafra, you said no. And tell us the reason why. In that self-referendum that was conducted last year, over 50 million Biafrans voted yes for Biafra. That is a very huge number. And majority carries the vote. So a larger majority of the Biafran population said it is Biafra or Biafra. So at this particular time, you should understand that we are no longer comfortable with Nigeria, that we have declared our nation, and there is nothing that can make us to go back to Nigeria. On 2nd of December 2024, Biafra was officially restored. We restored that declaration that was made between 1967 to 1970, and on that declaration, we stand till tomorrow. So calling for any kind of election, any form of election in Biafran territory means that you want to void, which is not possible, the self-referendum vote that Biafran people overwhelmingly voted for their freedom. And I want to ask you again, what have you benefited from Nigeria other than kidnapping, other than killing, other than Islamization? Absolutely nothing. The politicians that you have been elected, who have elected from time immemorial, are their children still living with you in that evil contraption? Do you still drink the same water? Do you go to the same school? Do you treat yourself in the same hospital? Do you enter the same cars? The answer is no. I ask you why. Why are the politicians now taking their family above you? Why are their families studying abroad? Why do they go abroad for medical checkup when they are sick? Why are they not using the same hospital that they refuse to build for you? They build health centers in your communities that are ill-equipped. Why? The reason being that they don't regard you as anything. Your life does not matter. Why have they decided not to build the roads so that whenever you are traveling, you can have a smooth journey? The answer is because they do not value your lives. The answer is because they do not regard you as anything. So you that they do not regard, you that they do not respect, you that they do not care about whatever happens to you, you are the one who is coming out to say you want them to continue to improvise you, you want them to continue to destroy your children's future by trying to join them in any election in Biafran territory. It means you are destroying the future of your children, your generation, even yet unborn. And this is very, very sad. And that is why on the 6th, 7th, and 8th, there is no election whatsoever in any territory, in any community, in any state in Biafran territory. It is not welcomed. We are not against you being a Nigerian. That is your prerogative. That is what you want. But Nigerian stops and Nigerian starts anywhere that you see that our mothers do not tie 2 pieces of wrapper. That is a Nigerian territory. You can go to the nearest Nigerian territory and do your election. But anywhere our mothers tie 2 pieces of wrapper, that is Biafran territory. It is out of bound. It is prohibited for Nigerians to conduct any of their elections in our territory. I want you to understand that. Very, very important. So on the 6th, 7th, and 8th is lockdown, total shutdown of all Biafran 40 states. Total shutdown. Tell your people, tell your community, tell your brothers and sisters, even the animals that you are rearing, tell them that that day the Biafran government, which is a government that is recognized all over the world, more importantly in Washington, D.C., this is the government that is in charge of Biafra land. Our government said 6, 7, 8 is sit at home, and we must obey it to the latter. If you don't want to obey it, then you want Nigeria to happen to you. Of course, you know Nigerians' modus operandi. Whenever we put suit at home, they are going to, tell some people they are terrorists in uniform to go and enforce it. And like most of you who don't listen to the voice of reason, on that day that you sit at home, it is that day you now remember that, oh, you don't have crayfish, you don't have tomato, you want to go out and buy onions. That time, those Nigerian terrorists will now use you to do, you will now be in the front pages of newspaper, and they will not use you to do, propaganda. And they will now tell you it's the same government that asked you to sit at home that now killed you, which is a very big and fat lie. So if you want yourself, if you want your corpse to be used as propaganda on social media, then 6, 7, and 8, you can as well come out and then you say bye-bye to your brothers and sisters. Then you join your ancestors. So we are telling you, this is a warning to everybody that on that day now, you will not buy onions or salt. You will not buy onions on the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, until 5th. It is on that 6th, that sit at home days that you now remember that ofo nubu na agoge, or you want to cook nsala soup. That day, then you have to bear the consequences of your action. Very, very important. So, my wonderful people, I'll come back because I'm being distracted. I have a lot to say. But thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. I wanted to talk about the killings, but I'll come back again. Thank you so much. I yield my mic.
Ndewo, King David. Thank you so much. God bless you. We expect to see you soon. Yeah. Please, we are in the first part, which is why Nigeria has become a killing field. Before we go to the CPAC, we have a lot to talk today. Okay. Rage and Fury. No.
Okay. Let me take it on from here because nobody will take my time again because there are so many things to touch. I don't know whether we will get time to touch on them. Rishi just my head. Which person that they call protagonist? I beg somebody go help me to look for the meaning of that thing for dictionary. So you get one drug law where they call protagonist. But I'm not going to bite my tongue. Anti-tutors, can you help me? Is it protagonist? That is what Tinubu is. I beg, may somebody help me. What did they call that English big way? I beg. Go the dance session. Let's go the dance session. Get with it. Just write down Portugal. I want to know the meaning of that thing. You don't cast. We tell these people they're not here. And according to the topic, sometimes we need to put some kind of justice so that it go, because of international media. So let me just come back to my normal two. Why Nigeria has now become a killing field for Christians. This Nigeria killing field for Christians. It did not start today. And I thank God that Nigeria has now been exposed and more are yet to come. They have been doing this thing for so long, because the reason why Nigeria is a killing field is that it's not okay. Let me ask you, my host, please. I'm sorry. When you say field, is field made to go and play only once and don't come back again? A field, where they say this is a field or a field, is made for playing. Playing ground, or it must be approached, time or season by season. That is what Nigeria is. As in the other way around, we call it a killing field for Christians, because it is not something that they will just come and wipe everybody once like that. So it has been a systematic game right from the beginning. From the history, from the history that you laid down in the beginning, shows and tells us that just because of some allies their selfish interest was first. Their selfish interest was first. So, and out of that, their selfish interest, they couldn't even consider the fact that we are not compatible. And even these people that they are handling this so-called company to, we're not even part of Nigeria. We're not even part or indigenous to that land. But because of their agenda, because of their idea of conquest, because of their idea of their jihad and what is going on today, and why Nigeria has become a killing field for Christians, and we continue until this problem is solved. But there is one thing that I also want everybody to know.
Permitted?
No, Mazik, in David, you are not permitted now. Please let me speak. I'm sorry. Talk plenty. Hold on, please, my brother. So now, if I lose my line of thought. So now, why Nigeria has now become this killing field? For so long, these people have been systematically, because of the agenda of the British. Now, because of the agenda of the British then. I mean, the idea, I mean, their selfish interest. So they have to hand over this company, to a caliphate that are not even indigenous to that land. And these people, this British government, they knew about this Fulani. They knew their agenda. They understand what they are there for. But because, they couldn't penetrate, that land, that place, which is Biafra land, which is Biafra territory. They couldn't get in easily like that to get exactly what they want, just like the way, they tried in the north, but they got the resistance, but at the time, I believe that they have to, they have to get some kind of, this kind of demons, this kind of killing machines that will now help them to carry out, their own interest, even though that these people have their agenda. They don't care. So we have been in the hands of monsters. Ignorantly, I may say, some of us know, but out of fear, you couldn't talk, because he who have the sticks and the granules has the power today in Nigeria. And this has been happening for decades. Since the British left Nigeria, it is very, very clear that this Nigeria has been the British left this Nigeria, handed over sticks and granules to these Fulani criminals to continue to terrorize the indigenous people of that contraption. This has been the plan. Just as they continue to do what they are there to back it up, because I don't see any reason why, as Nigeria is in this so-called name Nigeria, it is very, very famous that wherever you go, you mention Nigeria, people know because of their criminality, not for good though, not for good at all, but for evil. But why is it that it has been taking so long? Even all the whole international crime, I have never seen anywhere in the world that any country that you will tell me now today, inside a state, that another organization, another terrorist group is being terrorizing, and they are operating, they are holding ground, and these people are even being recruited into army and police as a country, then the whole world are quiet. Especially British, this British government, you that brought this company together, you are all quiet. You allowed your citizens to be kidnapped because of your selfish interest. That is how wicked you are. For good 5 years and still counting, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, a British citizen who has denounced long time, has never been